Tyson says he's caught a lot of fish in his days, some longer than trucks, but this one he will truly never forget, and neither will I.
Check this out. This fish is 10.5 feet.
A fishing captain in the Florida Keys helped reel in a potential record-breaking fish.
Giant swordfish, absolute sea monster.
You're kidding! That is so huge!
For the next few weeks, we're featuring monster fish at the Tennessee Aquarium.
Always aiming for $1 million catch?
How about that?
Fishermen often find themselves grappling with record-breaking creatures. Huge, heavy, mammoth, and massive. Join us to watch these sea monsters that shocked the whole world.
10 minutes in, 8-hour battle. It is the biggest swordfish I have ever seen.
Bill and Debbie, despite being impregnated with enthusiasm for fishing, were unable to catch anything for a long time. But that was not all. After a thrill-less drill of long hours, their net finally caught something. More than eager to witness it, the catch was dragged out of the water only to exceed the couple's expectations. A 757-pound heavy swordfish.
We did it! First drop of the day. 10 minutes in, 8-hour battle. It is the biggest swordfish I have ever seen.
The boring day was quickly converted into a thrilling one when the swordfish surpassed the previously existing record set by Stephen Stanford in 1978, who had seized a 612-pound heavy fish. The Florida Fish and Marine Department was very firm in stating that the record set this time will not be hacked in a time less than 4 decades. Sadly, the record-breaking catch could not resist the temperature outside the water and passed away during the process of its scrutiny.
It's a monster.
Oh my god.
I know.
757, like a jumbo jet.
Azure fin tuna.
A Japanese restaurant owner has paid a record $3.1 million for single Pacific bluefin tuna.
The Japanese have been eternally famous for their supreme love of eating tuna fish and dubbing it the chicken of the sea. Due to its high demand, these aquatic creatures are chased on paramountly high levels, leading to a major threat of their extinction. A yellowfin tuna caught in Tokyo was sold at an auction for $3.1 million. A wealthy Japanese individual purchased it to display his wealth and was given the title of Tuna King. This case was reported in 2019 when a 612-pound heavy tuna was put up for bidding. At a Tokyo sushi restaurant owner bought it after paying a handsome amount, probably to make some delicious sushi bites. Massive hammerhead.
Get out of the way!
A marshal of fishermen in Florida near the Sanibel Island caught a 13-foot-long hammerhead shark.
This all after the group managed to snag a 13-foot hammerhead, and of course, the whole thing was caught on camera.
Upon seeing such a stupendous fish, they were enticed by its lofty existence. The gang got so excited that they went 200 yards off the shore to catch it. It was reported that it took no less than 30 minutes to bring the fish to shore, but the hassle was not minded. The clever fishers had used stingray fish as bait, which is the top favorite food of hammerhead sharks. The sea titan being examined was allowed to go back to her habitat, as it did not seem very happy on its trip to the beach. Montauk shark.
2 Long Island fishermen brought in a great white shark weighing more than 3,000 pounds.
In August 1986, a veteran shark killer captain, Frank Mundus, and his mate, Donnie Braddock, decided to test their luck. Being affirmed in their aim, they left for the hunt at midnight and returned shining with victory early in the morning after 2 days. Their conquest was further flexed when the exact measurements were more than the estimated ones. The fish was 17 feet long, having a mass of 3,500 pounds, breaking a 27-year-old record. People didn't appreciate the catch, saying that it was captured while feeding on a whale, and also cruelly harpooned instead of being caught by a rod or reel. However, the International Game Fishing Association claimed that the catch was legal based on the photographs, and the mortal was let free shortly thereafter. Scout alligator.
And the goal is to catch an alligator gar over 7 feet long.
These daunting fishermen caught a chomper guard, which was enormously huge. It weighed nearly 230 pounds with a length of 92 inches. These scaly beasts are considered to be the largest freshwater creations in North America, and this is where this video of a troop got popular on their YouTube network. If you're thinking that you can mark your name with such a discovery, you gotta wait, my friend. Let's not forget that all of these fishermen were well efficient and knowledgeable in the field of fishing. The varmint was handled with high precautious safety, sending it back to its region of nativity. Demonic catch.
Caught another monkfish.
This swaggy fisherman, craving for crabs, unexpectedly caught a wolf eel instead. Whoa. A crazy looking critter indeed. The rough, dusty gray skin surface says it all. There are chances that the poor soul had sensed its end approaching, and being disheartened, had alienated itself from the rest of the swarm. Did you think that this is the end of this part? Well, wait until you catch a sight of this monkfish. Nemo the fish would be disgusted to know that such a living being exists in his society.
Caught another monkfish.
The critter, when caught, kept its elephantine mouth widely open as an announcement of battle. But the fisherman was not in the mood to take any risks. He carries the marine creature with a stick by hooking it at its mouth and carefully lands it back into the ocean.
He's got a grip on that thing.
Pacific octopus.
Fishing trip on Vancouver Island turned into the experience of a lifetime after a rare encounter with an octopus.
You're kidding! That is so huge!
The huntsman had no intention of hunting an octopus until one himself came and leapt onto his fishing net. The low-key behavior of this cephalopod was noticed due to the drastic change in its steroid hormone levels, often disturbed after giving birth, ultimately mutilating themselves to death. The octopus was brought to the boat, and the family of the fisherman empathized with her current situation.
We started pulling the trap up. It was orange, just like prawns. And then as it was like surfacing, we're like, oh my gosh, that is a huge octopus.
The ocean resident paid a heartfelt tribute to her admirers, and without causing any chaos, slipped out of a hole situated at the corner of the boat. Brute beast.
Check this out. This fish is 10.5 feet.
There was a high probability that this was not exactly what the fishermen were trying to find, but instead a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
A fisherman who specializes in catching sturgeons made an extremely rare find.
This part of the video is about a 100-year-old snakefish, a gigantic sturgeon ensnared by a British man in North Columbia, Canada. Some of the viewers said that it was so magnificent in its size that it looked like a long-lost wandering dinosaur. Being 10.5 feet long and the century-old fish doubtlessly can be related to the dinosaur community, not hesitating to celebrate their old-age birthdays. Maintaining the birthday rituals of this sea titan, the young man allowed it to swim back into the sea.
And now we're gonna release it back into the river. Woo!
Smooth pufferfish.
Oh my gosh, it's massive.
This guy, Josh, could not hold back his loud laughter after grasping a huge pufferfish that had unexpectedly eaten his bait. This blowfish appeared to be remarkably huge because of its ability to blow its body up to several times the normal size. Otherwise, their bodies are short and stout.
Look at the size of that pufferfish. That's the biggest pufferfish I've ever seen.
The largest pufferfish recorded till now had a maximum length of 26.4 inches, and this ain't no smaller. Well, it looks like a balloon with spikes, and as the face says it all, he's so offended that you're making fun of his weight.
It's giant!
Doomsday Devil. On July 11th, around 10 in the morning, a fisherman in Arica, while surfing for his daily catch, unexpectedly caught something very huge. On pulling the net out of the water, the huntsman was completely surprised to know that it was a 16-foot-long oarfish. The guy said that the discovery was quite unanticipated, as he was neither too deep in the water nor many miles away from the shore. A little skeptical regarding the devil's ill luck myth, he avoided taking it on board, but was compelled by his fellow fishermen. The fish landed on the shore. Again, having no proper equipment, exact measurements of this catch remained a mystery, but it was estimated to be roughly 16 feet long. Whiptailed. Science is a fuel that has always kept the curiosity of the scientists fueled. This incident dates back to 2015, when a group of researchers at the Mekong River in Thailand discovered the largest freshwater fish classified as the stingray.
This was the biggest freshwater fish that's ever been recorded.
It was a giant whip-tailed creature which, when measured and weighed, turned out to be a reckoning colossal. A width of 7.9 feet, a length of 14 feet, and a bulky weight of 800 to 900 pounds. The nearby people thought that the final minutes of the fish had arrived, as the surveyors would take its life for their gains. The team, without any ill intention, released the fish back into the water, regarding its right to live in a water body freely. Monstrous bass. This is the story of the Smedley family, who's been fond of family fishing trips on bays for many years. Catching creatures weighing 40 to 50 pounds was a normal activity for them, until their youngest son caught a striped bass weighing 60 pounds. It was a proud moment for the brood, being the first time their child had caught a critter this prodigious. The young boy, on receiving appreciation, was now much more determined to target much larger fishes next time, but only for the sake of some fun. This bass, too, was later driven back into her underwater home. Princely lobster. It was a normal day for a mediocre fisherman when he caught this rocky lobster roughly 40 inches long, weighing equal to 3-year-olds. The Marine Department was high on action after this discovery, as they were well aware of the lobster's ability to regenerate some of its body parts, such as claws, legs, and antennae. The team wanted to get a complete examination of it as soon as possible for further scientific research. Probably they knew that the crustacean was capable of attacking with a pressure up to 100 pounds per square inch, and that's why, once the surveyors were satisfied with the collected data, the sea creature was sent back into its wild habitat to avoid any danger lurking around.
Thank you, Katie.
Whooping catfish. Definitely a perfect catch for fish lovers. This guy here at the Lake of France in 2015 hardly knew what would be his catch of the day. A whooping catfish. It was 8 feet long and weighed 250 pounds. That indeed is massive, but it did not hinder the fishermen from bringing it on board. It took 3 healthy men to take it out for keen investigation. Although catfishes are toothless and look similar to toddlers with their baby teeth falling out, they still instill a sense of terror among humans. The fisherman celebrated his victory and without much delay released the whiskered fish back into its home, offering farewell from a distance. River monster.
I'm in South Africa on the Breda River. I've hooked a creature so strong there's no way it should ever be in this river.
I never realized what kind of endurance and amazing skills it takes to be a true fisherman until I saw this video. Although this compassionate being had got a hold of this monstrous bull shark, all at once, by hooking its side, snagged on a flip of skin between his gill slits. It still took him a complete 2.5 hours to get it out of its home.
This is my biggest catch ever, and 2.5 hours is by far my longest fight.
Efforts were worth it though, when the monster was found to be 9.5 feet long and 500 pounds in weight. The bull shark he had hunted previously was a pregnant female, but this time it was a male.
It's a male!
With all due respect and care, it was landed back into the river, where it lived happily ever after. Mahi Mahi. After seeing such idiosyncratic water organisms, I wish I could take photos with my eyes. This tale is of a ninja guy who had to go to a marlin competition after a few days and was rehearsing on an ocean near Maryland. Rarely did he know that he would end up catching such a remarkable Mahi Mahi fish, It had hardly been a half an hour when something strong stuck to the rod. Upon drawing it out of the ocean's waters, the guy exclaimed with volcanic joy. This enormous fish weighed 72.8 pounds, pushing away all the previously existing records, making the lad believe in his fishing skills to the fullest. However, the guy did not want it to be used for any research purposes and immediately swung it back into the valleys of the ocean. Stupendous crab. An estimated 1.5 million tons of crabs get caught annually, but hardly anyone has hooked a grouch this massive. The stupendous crab, caught in the spring of 1980, weighed 3,300 pounds. It was an astounding discovery made by a crab hunting crew, which were all amazed, yet scared. Despite having a rapidly growing population, as the female stays pregnant for only 1 to 2 weeks, laying up to 2,000 eggs each time, many laws ensuring the safety and population growth of crustaceans have been made. Would this squad be in trouble for catching such a magnificent creature? Well, I believe the fishermen might have played it safe and let the crab back into its den, where it reigned. Red Devil. Squidly Diddly fans will be more than happy to discover his twin. Back in 2009, when a couple in Washington was enjoying their beach date, an adventure awaited them. In an attempt to catch some salmon for lunch, the bait lured a red devil. Upon noticing the unexpected, it turned out to be an enormous Humboldt squid.
They're gonna look good on a sushi roll.
The species is known for its gigantic mass, but I bet this was something next level. Squids grow really, really fast, to their fullest, and could give birth to many babies, living only for a year. This cool discovery had strange arms, weird bulging eyes, and a squishy body. The couple, having no intent of exploiting the Humboldt's routine, released it back into the water from where the vertebrate flapped into its home.
Whew. If we catch any more, we're gonna let them go.
Yeah,
Our fish box is full of squid.
Sixgill Shark. We all in our biology class have been taught that fishes have a total of 5 distinct gills, but this unique shark found lying breathless on the beach of Canada had 6 gills. Amusingly, they are hard to be caught randomly as they live deep down at a minimum depth of 2,500 meters. This cameraman in February 2011 was lucky enough to snap this shark weighing 1,254 pounds and 4.2 meters long. The deceased soul was brought offshore for a surgical examination, but unluckily, no solid reason for its demise was concluded. However, the mortal was pregnant and still had 28 cute little pups inside her womb. A matching case was recorded in 2017 when an English fisherman on an Irish coast witnessed a 7.5 meter long shark weighing 1,500 pounds. Luckily, this one was found alive and remained alive after its discovery too. Amberfin Tuna. Tuna around, and let me see this catch! Well, to find a tuna this large, and that too with a yellowfin, is no less than the discovery of buried treasure. It was in 2012 when an ambitious fisherman, John Petruscu, was eager to get hold of something extraordinary. Luck, too, sided with him. The guy's fishing rod got stuck to an amberfin tuna as heavy as 445 pounds. John was assured that he would fly with excelling fame until the official world recorders detained his imagination by saying that he took assistance from his crew member while pulling the rod. However, the hunt was 17 pounds heavier than the largest tuna ever seized before, and among the top 4 cases. Respecting its monumental existence, the saddened man released the fleshy creature back into the water body. Zambesi Sharks. Bull sharks, known as Zambesi sharks, are the most fatal enemies of the human race. They swim in warm waters, not being picky about their location, but are often said to visit the Zambesi River for an appetizing meal. It was during the research survey by scientists in the Breed Estuary in 2009 that the biggest female shark was brought into human vision. The mammoth was measured to be 4 meters long with teeth sharper than all other carnivorous creatures. The scientists, amazed and awed, sent the aggressive monster back into the water with the intent of observing it in its natural habitat. Funnily, it was not only them keeping an eye on the shark, but also the angry bull observing the constant poking in her homeland. Mey Grouper. I would swim the deepest oceans if the catch would be this cosmic grouper. A batch of fishermen with maximum preparation started their voyage. And here's the fruit of their efforts. A grouper weighing 600 to 800 pounds. It visualized more of a Hollywood-synthesized creature or an AI-generated being. But you've gotta believe your eyes. It's a real creature caught on board. A few commentators related it with Goliath, a well-known Philistine warrior. The hefty creature was allowed to go back into the water after the fishermen had cherished their win. However, the exact intention behind this particular catch remains unknown. What exactly did those hunters want to do with a grouper? Any intruding thoughts from your side? Mako Shark. Back in 2013, this Californian man, after a long and consistent drill of 2 hours, caught hold of this beast. He tracked it at a speed of 60 miles. Not only this, but the cunning guy tactfully used the best of shark baits, menhaden, famous for their oil being a prime ingredient in enticing sharks to the vicinity. The Mako shark broke all the previous records of its other species members, as it weighed 1,323 pounds, equal to 600 kilograms. Unlike the previously tracked sharks, it was not sent back into the water, but kept in a refrigerator to perform more scientific experiments on. Prince Edward Island Shark. The incident dates back to 1983, when David McKendrick thought of a yummy tuna dish for his dinner table. But destiny had some other plans. He got hold of a catch, which forced him to engage in a 3-hour-long labor with no proper equipment. And guess what had been this fisherman putting efforts for? The fellow had in front of his vision the Prince Edward Island Shark. The dude was shocked to learn that that shark was 21 feet long. Incidents report that another similar shark caught on this island was a 20-year-old female having a mouth of 36 inches and 130 sharp canine teeth. This holy creature was sent to the museum, and many people showed remorse and disappointment. Alf Dean's Great White. It was on April 21st, 1955, on a bay in Australia, where the determined Alf was eager to catch something big. Being persistent in his thoughts and actions, the chap managed to seize a white shark in a time as short as 40 minutes, and that too with a local fish line rod. The guy immediately rushed it to the nearby market and was on the 7th sky to find that it was 16.25 feet long, weighing 2,664 pounds. A great white shark this hulking became the hot subject of headlines. No one in quite a long time was able to make such a catch, as sanctions on their hunting were announced after. Solitary Predator. Peter Filipov, an enthusiastic Bulgarian huntsman, decided to try his luck in peculiar water bodies where no one even thinks of visiting. This gloomy lake in Bulgaria was a treat for Peter when he caught a monstrous pike. He was sure about this big catch the very moment he submerged his fishing rod into the water, as the absence of smaller fish clearly hinted at some terrific critter's presence. The lake water also seemed to have not gone under any specific changes in reverence of its master. Did you know the ardent man accomplished his mission with shining stars, as the fish weighed almost 25.3 kilograms and was 140 centimeters long? In search of fame, the solitary being was taken to the nearby marine department, where the audience flocked to witness it live. King Salmon. Kenai River in the late 1980s was quite prominent for its large salmon-sized fishes. This was when a man named Les Anderson decided to make an eminent discovery. Fortune was bestowed upon him, and he was able to grasp a huge salmon king, weighing 97 pounds and having a length of 5 feet. You must consider yourself lucky for all this information in a single video, because the poor soul was observed after being loaded on the truck. On top of this, that day too was recorded as one of the hottest days in Alaska, and the fish had to remain out of the water for a straight 7 hours. Bravo, King Salmon! Epic Paddlefish. Does this fish not remind you of your kitchen spatula? Yeah, a paddlefish this time. A juvenile man belonging to Wichita, Kansas broke the world record of finding a paddlefish, the greatest of all time. The catchers were extremely happy not being able to control their emotions. They embraced the bob in their arms and made snaps for their social media accounts. This fish species has been recorded to be among the oldest ones surviving since 120 to 125 million years ago. Evidence of their fossils, too, provides credibility to their ancient existence, dating back to 300 million years before. Keeping in mind the dangerous decline in their population, the sea oddity was advised to swim back to its shelter. Tiger shark. Tiger sharks are the scariest sea sharks known worldwide for their infinite, heart-wrenching attacks on surfers at the Australian Bay. But that's only one side of the story, because this relationship goes both ways. These predators, due to their spectacular size and characteristics, have been on an unstoppable hunt for many years. A fisherman, Matthew, in 2015 at the coast of Byron Bay, caught a tiger shark, which was 5 meters long, equal to the largest villain of this category recorded till now. The troller claimed that he had no intention of catching a tiger shark, as he only intended to feast upon a hammerhead. He promised to take no personal gains out of this marvelous catch and directed it back to its lodgings. Monster whale shark. In February 2012, a white monster shark was witnessed at the Karachi port. The people around gathered only to witness this bohemian fish from a distance, not daring to make it a catch. However, the fish, due to some unknown reasons, had already met its creator before touching the shore. Residents nearby made a strategy to take it out of the water. Initially, 2 cranes were employed for this purpose, but to our shock, the whale shark was too bulky to be pulled out by only 2. Thus, a team of 5 gigantic cranes was ordered for this noble task. It was 40 feet long, weighing between 6 to 7 tons. This enigmatic creature was priced up to 200,000 rupees and later sold for $3,000, probably for its meat to be sold in food shops. Madness monster. Madness monster, also given the name El Monstruoso, has always been fantasized for its appalling appearance. It was in 1945 when 6 expert fishermen at the seaside of Cuba decided to get a marvelous catch. Having prepared themselves beforehand, it still took them a whole night and the majority of the next day to keep their snatch safe. It was pulled out with rough ropes and razor-sharp harpoons. Was it really the Madness monster? Well, after an epic struggle, the behemoth was brought offshore and was found to be 21 feet long and weighing 7,000 pounds. The discovery stood controversial, as cynics claimed that the measurements were taken with the organism swimming in the water, not being accurate. Jumbo Manta Ray. On a fortuitous day, an Indian fisherman, Subhash Sailan, during his daily trail, caught hold of something not very common. Being an expert in his profession, the prey was pulled out of the water only to witness that there were 2 gigantic manta rays, one weighing as heavy as 750 kilograms. The fish was caught at Mangaluru off the Malpe Port, Karnataka coast, marking its fame since then. You might be cheerful seeing such a beauty of nature, but the sad part is that the fantastic organism, instead of being freed into its habitat, was exported to the nearby fishery department for sale. Basking Shark. 8 years ago, an Australian fisherman caught a 20-foot-long basking shark. These sharks usually feed on plankton and have teeth as tiny as 2 millimeters. However, they are still considered to be scary, being the second largest sea creatures after the whale shark's prevailing terror. The shark had already breathed its last during its examinations and was decided to be transported to the Victoria Museum in London for further research projects. The viewers were utterly disappointed upon hearing of the demise of this breathtaking fish and wished luck to others of its species. Open discussion. A heartfelt rescue story. Sperm whales usually fall prey to danger by mistaking the marine debris as prey, or might get infections from splinters. But here, the sperm whale spotted at the water body off the coast north of Sicily in Italy was caught up terribly in a tough fishing net. This sea brute had utterly lost all hope of its survival when a group of warm-hearted divers caught sight of it. It's always so beautiful when a different species helps another. with all the possible assurance of safety and kindness, was disentangled from the illegal fishing net, being indebted to its saviors. The Marine Department was keen on taking immediate action regarding such life-threatening equipment and ensuring the safe swimming of all the underwater wildlife. I'd say that with all the crazy political news going on today, this moment provided us with a sigh of relief. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.